Oh my goodness. Dang it. My bad. Had the mic turned off. Thank you, Guy, for letting me know. Hello, hello. Sorry about that. But yeah, okay. So I basically said hello to a lot of people, but I'll say it again. Maybe we'll riff off it really quick, lightning style. Antion Long, glad you're able to join us. Cult of Lambs, yes, we will be doing our challenge shoutouts. That dumb birdie, I did say that you had a pretty funny name. I like that name. But glad you're able to catch us. And also, I said shout out to Vin for modding our stream. Show Vin some love. And let's see, who else is here? I mean, I see a lot of you guys here, but yeah, hopefully where you guys are catching us at a good time, or maybe you're at work and you just needed some kind of background visuals and noise to help you get through the day. So yeah, hopefully I'm able to provide some good like background education or noise or some just a chill hangout for you while you're at work, because Monday at 12 p.m. is an interesting time. But yeah, if you're able to catch us, glad you're here. So hello Rainbow, that's a cool spelling of the name. And also hello Guy, yeah, thank you Guy for letting me know that the audio was off. Yeah, the funny thing is that in the recording, actually no, oh yeah, for a good chunk of it in the recording, it will be just like empty sounds, empty noise. I'm talking, but it did not record it probably. But unfortunately, that's just how it is. But yeah, glad you guys are able to join us. We do have a good new kind of intro that we've written up, that Kevin has kind of written up. So if I stumble a little bit on the intro bit, which I usually do anyways, even if it's the normal one, you'll have to forgive me for a little bit of getting used to the new kind of intro blurb that we have, because we're kind of changing things up a little bit. Not a lot, but changing it up a bit just to try something new. But glad you guys are all here. And if you guys didn't know, or actually before I start with that, yeah, just thank you everybody for joining. Glad you guys are here. Hope you guys are going to enjoy this stream. And but yeah, so for today, as you can kind of see, the topic that we're going to be diving into is how to draw or how to start a design with silhouettes. This is like a really useful tool if you're ever stuck or you're not really sure of what design to have. You literally your mind is blank and you're just like, I literally have no ideas planned out. Then silhouettes is kind of like a cool, neat way of kind of getting the brain going and brainstorming and kind of getting the creative juices rolling so that you have something to work with. So yeah, I'm gonna walk you through kind of just like how to get it started, how to work it out, and how the general process of using silhouettes work. But yeah, this is just really good for anyone who has a hard time getting any ideas going or just getting a project started. And silhouettes is really easy. Silhouettes are really simple to put down. So that's kind of the point of, or the benefit of using silhouettes to help you start your drawings. So hopefully by the end of the stream, you'll be able to kind of utilize this technique and try it out for yourself if you've never done this before. I use it every now and then, especially for characters or even just checking characters just to make sure that they look solid or interesting from a silhouette perspective. Because silhouettes is also a really good tool of letting you know how or letting you know whether your designs are interesting or if they're a little bit too plain. And with that little bit of intro said, but yeah, welcome to the stream. If we haven't met before, my name is Josh, and I'm one of the instructors here at Wing Canvas. And if you've never been here or have never taken one of our classes at Wing Canvas before, I teach illustration, drawing, and painting, as well as the newly introduced class, illustrated animations. I always mix up those two names around a little bit, but yes, it's animated illustrations. We kind of take drawings and then add a little bit of animation to it to give it a little bit of dynamism and some a little bit of energy to it. Actually, I guess, I can show you guys what I've been working on. I'm spending a little bit too much time on it, but our first project for the term has been tail wag. So I drew up this kind of like sushi bar with these like three characters to them. We got a big I don't know if you guys will be able to see it because the line work is still, I'm still kind of working on the line work a little bit, but here's a big guy eating, and then there's a little guy kind of in awe, and then the bar booth, I don't know, ramen lady kind of just sitting, kind of chatting up the customers, I guess. But yeah, this is kind of what I've been working on lately, and I'm going to add a tail here that's going to be wagging side to side. So it's a little bit, actually, this whole idea started from our Cyberpunk stream where I drew this crazy city, but then but it wasn't really like animated, so the only things I animated were like the neon signs. So the idea came up, was like, oh, how about we just have these really cool illustrations with a little bit of motion to them. So yeah, if you guys are interested in checking out these classes, definitely check out our website. We have a lot of different classes and a lot of different instructors that specialize in different things. And like I said, I specialize in drawing and painting, but also in a bit of animation as well. So if you don't know who we are, though, we are a school of illustration and visual storytelling dedicated to helping our art nerds turn their passion into income. So yeah, that's kind of it for the little bit of the intro. So we'll get into a part of the stream that we always do, or we try to do, before we jump into the main event, and that is art challenges. Ooh, okay. Yeah, my avatar is going to disappear for a little bit before we do it. Oh, and also, yes, we are in Canada. Yeah. Yeah, our art challenge, if you didn't know, on Discord, every month we have a new art challenge that goes up for the entirety of the month. And so for January, our challenge was 30-minute concepts. And so essentially, we're kind of challenging our community to spend only 30 minutes. You know, if you need to go over a little bit by a few minutes or so, or if you're a little bit under, that's totally okay. But the whole goal is to kind of give yourself a little bit of a time constraint and then see how much you can do within that time frame. So a lot of the community has been submitting, and you don't know where to submit. On Discord, there's a channel. If you scroll down a little bit, it's under art challenges, and if you click art challenges, there should be a tab that links you to 30-minute concepts, and there you can see what the community has been uploading. And at the beginning of our stream, if you guys have never been here before, we always like to give a little bit of love and shout out what our community has been doing. So the first one up is, give me a sec as I just turn this off. Here it is. Our first one is by Castle. So Castle did a little bit of a short animation, which is looking really crazy. I feel like this is like a cool one where, like, I feel like if you had a lot of more, if you want to put more time and really flesh this out, this could be really cool. But just for 30 minutes, I think you did a really bang up job of putting this together. Looks really neat. Looks like a, I don't know, a transmorphing kind of box turns into like a cat, and then the cat turns into like a soldier or a dancing kind of guy. But yeah, really cool piece here, Castle. Thank you for submitting. And then the next one is by someone called Chief Flame. So Chief Flame, I feel like you guys are probably all familiar with Chief Flame's submissions. But yeah, this is another one done by our community. And yeah, this is just a really cool character. Reminds me a little bit of like a mix of Final Fantasy and maybe like Street Fighter a little bit. I don't know. It's something with like the chunky metal armor. Reminds me of Final Fantasy, like Cloud's shoulder piece. You know what? Samus is also not a bad call out too. Like this kind of has like the suit, what's the suit called? I keep forgetting what the suit is, but the shoulder pads. Oh, Fire Emblem's also a good one. Yeah, that's not a bad kind of reference either. But yeah, I had a really cool drawing. So again, as always, if you guys want to look at these pieces in more detail or like zoom in, all the images are uploaded on our Discord. So if you haven't joined our Discord, definitely join us so you can check out these pieces. So thank you, Chiefly. And then lastly, the next one is by Den. So Den has this really cool fun piece here where it looks like there's like a boxer character, and then I don't know if the bear is being controlled by the boxer person or they're like in a dual team kind of thing, because they're kind of like boxing in sync. Or maybe it's like, I don't know, her spirit summon or something, but I think it's pretty cool. So Thank you, Den, for submitting for 30 minutes. I feel like this is like a real cool concept and character design that got put together. And drawing boxing gloves are hard. I've drawn boxing gloves for characters, and if you don't get the perspective and angle of boxing gloves right, it can be a little bit tricky. But I think you did a really good job here, Den. So thank you, everybody who submitted. Thank you, Den. Thank you, Chief Flame. And thank you, Castle, for submitting. And also other people who submitted as well that didn't get a chance to get a shout out. But who knows, if you submit it before the end of the month, before our last stream, you could potentially get your piece highlighted here on our streams. And it's only the 19th of January, so there are what is it, like 12 more days, I think. 12 more days of January left. But our last stream, I think, would be... Actually, I think it would be the 26th, probably. I'll have to take a look at the schedule, but 26th will probably be our last stream on January, and that will be our last time to participate in the January challenge. And then in February, we'll have a new one. So, yeah. But thank you, everybody, for submitting. We always love seeing what our community is doing and what our community is coming up with. But now onto the main event here. So if you guys didn't know, if you saw a little bit in the beginning, before a stream goes up, 2 days before the stream goes up, keep an eye on our community post, because we usually post either an announcement, like a reminder, or we post a little bit of a poll to let you guys know what it is that we'll be drawing and what is the subject matter. And sometimes we even make it into a poll so that if you want to vote for what we draw specifically, you can vote for the subject matter. And so I put out 4 options here. I put out creature, fantasy character, mech robot, and witch. And you guys, the community, voted for creature. So that's what we're going to be drawing today. We're going to be trying to come up with how to design a creature, starting with silhouettes, and then hopefully by the end we get a cleaned up, finished creature by the end of the stream. I'm actually kind of surprised that creature... Well, I'm not surprised that creature won. I had a feeling that it was either going to be creature or mech. I'm surprised mech didn't get as many votes as I thought it would, but you know, creature is great too. And you can see I voted for fantasy character. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I vote against the grain. I'm like, I feel like creature's gonna win. I'm gonna throw it to something else and let's see if that one wins. But mechs are so hard. Oh yeah, for sure. No, they are very hard. Oh, actually, you know, maybe I'll use this as an example. So this is not necessarily how to start a silhouette study, but this is kind of like a good example of what silhouettes are and how you can kind of look at characters and their design through their silhouettes. So this is roughly what we're going to be kind of doing, but this is not necessarily the way to start because it's already in a way all finished up and fine-tuned and kind of detailed out. But we're not really going to try to start off in this way because that's a little bit too complicated. So before I start drawing first though, what I do recommend is to kind of find random objects whenever you want to try out this silhouette exercise. So I'm going to write it down here. Let's see. Sure, let's put a dark gray kind of line here. But the first thing I like to do is, or before I write that, actually, let's write down the biggest problem when it comes to coming up with concepts is, or silhouettes are good for when you're stuck kind of with an idea, or you're kind of like lost on where to start. And you're having trouble coming up with interesting idea. Let's rewrite that. No interesting ideas. Now, it's not to say that the silhouette will make you or help you come out with the most interesting and most unique idea ever, but it does help you push the boundaries a little bit. Helps to push the boundaries. And that's because you're not starting off with anything of like the usual technical stuff like guidelines or a mannequin or perspective lines or guidelines. You're kind of starting off with the shape of it, and you're trying to find the design and the structure and the volume through the shapes and through the silhouettes. So in the end, what you end up coming up with are, or you're not restrained and restricted by technicalities like perspective and proportions. Instead, you're allowed to push the boundaries a little bit and come up with interesting shapes that you might not have or you might not usually kind of come up with off the top of your head. So that's kind of what silhouettes are great for, and I want you guys to kind of keep this in mind as we're doing these silhouette studies, that this is kind of the goal. And so because of that, this is usually sometimes I'll come up with an idea a little bit before stream, but to kind of show you a little bit of like how it would truly go and how using silhouettes really work, I'm gonna kind of go at this slightly blind in a way. I'm gonna show you guys how I would take a silhouette and come up with a design just off the top of my head. Hello, Mr. Half said. Hey, glad you're able to join us. So the first thing is when you're coming up with a silhouette, you're trying to break the mold. So how do you break the mold? Sounds like I'm like an exterminator or something, or not an exterminator, but you know, those people who like clean washrooms or whatever. So you break the mold, and what I recommend is to try to look for random objects. So for your references, try to look for random objects. Random objects. And these could be objects like household items. And you'll see in a bit that this is basically what I kind of grabbed. These are the object or pictures and references that I kind of went to grab. You can find like weird knickknacks, or like another good one. Weird. I actually don't know how to spell knickknacks. Knickknacks. Is it spelled with a K, or would it be spelled with just an N? I don't know. I'm gonna spell it with a K. I don't know. I feel like knickknacks. Is it knickknacks? Actually, I've never had to spell knickknacks before. I don't know if this is how you would spell it. Is it? I don't know. Weird knickknacks. Okay, there. Vin Vin put it out there. Yeah, Nick. Is it okay? So there is a K at the end. Okay, and it's two words. It seems like. Okay, we'll trust Vin on this one. Knickknacks. Did you guys know there was a toy called Knickknacks? Like way back in the day. Well, like okay, I say way back in the day, but when I was a kid, there were these toys called Knickknacks. I feel like that's a deep cut of a reference. Weird knickknacks. You can even look for like maybe things like sea creatures. Anything that's a little bit out of the ordinary and a little bit just like off the cuff that would offer like weird shapes. So like sea creatures. Basically anything that has a weird shape. Weird shape to it. Then you take those things and you kind of combine them, or you know, put them in different angles. Different angles. So you're trying to look at these objects in a new perspective. Vin is a knower. That's a funny term. Back in the dinosaur age when Josh and I were kids. Oh my gosh. Look at me, my young age understanding Josh's references. Usually that's Kevin's job. One of those magnets that made a strange noise. Okay, from my memory of what they were like these toys. Here, I'll just draw it really quickly. They were kind of like these block toys that had these rotating boxes to them. Or not rotating boxes, but their arms would kind of like snap. And you can kind of like move them around a little bit. I don't know, something like this. I'm drawing a poor job. I'm doing a poor job of drawing them, but it looks kind of like this. And it looks really kind of lame right now if you're looking at this like, why would this ever be a toy? Like, why would this be fun? But I think maybe you could be right, Mr. Half said, like maybe there are magnets at like the ends of them so you can like connect them together. But then the limbs and the heads, they would like rotate. You can kind of like click and clack and snap them together. So I think that's why they were called knickknacks, because like the sound that they would make whenever you like bent the limbs and everything. But they always had like funny faces on them, and they had like funny designs on them. So they were always like, it wasn't like boring like a flat face or anything, but they were always kind of like these weird creatures or weird characters. They were just like stickers kind of just stuck onto like the piece. But that's what, from my memory, this is what it looks like based on my memory of it. I don't know, maybe it does not look like that at all, but that's how I remember it. Yeah. Yeah, you want to look at objects from different perspectives and help you create something new. So going back to our list here, something new. I feel like every time I say something new, I think of that line from BioShock where the splicer is like, is that someone new? Help create something new. I know it's not the same line, but I feel like the cadence of those words put together kind of reminds me of that line from BioShock. I feel like it's an iconic line, you know. And then the third one is to kind of expand beyond the objects, of course. So this is kind of our list, our kind of goal here. And if you're kind of wondering, like, oh, where did I learn this? Or where did you learn this from, Josh? Funny story enough, I actually didn't learn this technique or exercise or approach, however you want to describe it, from like school or from anyone. Is actually from a behind the scenes look at Star Wars. I think it was Revenge of the Sith, where they were trying to figure out, I think, General Grievous's designs, and everybody was just like coming up with designs and throwing them up on the board, and like George Lucas just was not agreeing to any of the designs. Like every design that all the artists put out, he was just like, nope, I don't like that one, and that one doesn't look good. And then one guy, I don't know why, but I guess this guy's ideas got picked out. So the camera guys like followed him, and he was like, yeah, so eventually George, or I don't know what he calls George Lucas, but he was like, yeah, George basically picked my idea. He said that there was like some real cool directions. And he was like, so the camera guys asked him like, oh, well, how did you come up with this idea? And he's like, well, sometimes I have these like weird toys or things just lying around on my desk or at home, and I picked up, I think he said like his toothbrush or something that he had, and he was just looking at it, and he started turning it into different angles and rotating it in different positions, and from that he saw this really cool shape from the toothbrush, and then he kind of elaborated beyond that. So it wasn't just the toothbrush, but he took the toothbrush, maybe combined it with some other objects, and then that's where, like, I think one of his, either it's General Grievous's droid protectors, like his guards, or it's General Grievous himself. So funny enough, I learned about this technique way back when they released like some behind the scenes footage of like how they were designing some of the characters for Revenge of the Sith, and it was just this random small clip in an interview with that guy. I don't know if it's a toothbrush. I'm saying toothbrush, but you know, it'd be funny if General Grievous was based off of a toothbrush. I don't remember if it was a toothbrush, but because it was so long ago. Guys, Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005, and it's 2025 right now. Or 2026, jeez. So my memory of whether it was a toothbrush or not might be a little bit off, but yeah, it was I remember it was like this mundane, off the cuff, just random object, but because of that, that's always stuck with me. The idea of just like grabbing something and just like basing a design off of something simple or something that just might be lying around on your house, in your kitchen, on your table. So, yeah. It's 21 years, Ida. It's wild. It's crazy. I went to go see the 20th anniversary release for Revenge of the Sith, and it was a lot of fun. There were people cheering when the Younglings scene came out, which is wild. Like, I know that we all treat the Revenge of the Sith movies as kind of a it's a meme movie. The prequel trilogies has become a little bit of like, it's infamous for its memes and it's for its kind of cheesiness, I guess. But that scene's supposed to be dramatic and dark, and then the moment that scene came on, people were cheering and like laughing, and I'm like, man, this is a weird, weird reaction, but it's kind of interesting. Um, or fine additions to a collect fine. Oh my gosh, Mr. Half said, nice reference. I like that. I mean, I had a crush on Grievous in my younger days. He had a cool design. Not gonna lie, General Grievous had a really cool like design and just look to him. Oh right, maybe it was the helicopter. Yeah, I just remember he had a weird, like, just a very simple thing lying around, and he grabbed it. And he was like, "Yeah, it was based off this like thing." In my mind, I'm like, I would like to say that it was based on a toothbrush because I think that's funnier. But maybe Attack Chopper sounds like, oh, the AT-ATs maybe were based on. I mean, I can kind of see that. Fictional boyfriend. It's okay. We all have that watching movies and everything. As well as being genuinely funny. Yeah, they are. Honestly, they are funny at times. It's a weird dichotomy of point. From my point of view, yeah. Okay. Well, with that being said, a little walk down memory lane. I have very quickly grabbed a bunch of images off the internet, and as usual, it's just off of Pinterest. So if you are ever wondering, like, oh, Josh, where do you grab your images from? It's nowhere fancy. It's nowhere special. It's just Pinterest. But yeah, here are just some random objects. Now, I do think that some of these are 3D renderings of objects. I think this hydrant here, yeah, it's for like texturing exercises and everything. So it's probably done in like Substance Painter or on like Maya maybe, or even Blender. And then I think this one kind of also looks like it's done and yeah, it's a rendering. I had a feeling when I grabbed it because I was like, this is way too like accurate for like, why would anyone just take random pictures and angles of like plugs? But yeah, it turns out it's because it's a rendering. So some of these are real, I believe, and then others are just kind of 3D renderings. But I grabbed a bunch of objects here, and that is because what I'm trying to look for, and hopefully by grabbing all these images, you can kind of see what I'm trying to look for. I'm trying to look for anything that's not too symmetrical, that has some like weird parts or elements about them that stick out. I really like this, I don't know, this traffic light. This could be something. I don't know, could work with this. Now, I grabbed a can. You might be like, why'd you grab a crushed up can? And it's because, again, I'm looking for the shape, and I'm kind of looking for objects that break any kind of like mold or any kind of simplicity in its form. So even the tea kettle, even though it's very clean, there could be something here that might be useful. And I grabbed the plug because the plug's just, when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's good. That's a real cool kind of image here. And then I grabbed the helmet. I know this is not a household item, but again, there's something neat here. You never know what could work, and yeah, we'll see what we come up with. So yeah, we're gonna get started with these objects and elements here. They should post it in Discord. If someone designs something off of a toothbrush, yeah. If you use a toothbrush, definitely feel free to share it. Character for toothbrush. Is there? I mean, there is a date, everything to go off of. A weapon based on a plug? Yeah, that could be a direction. Oh, also, how do y'all deal with AI flooding Pinterest? Yeah, there are like AI detectors. There is a video that I kind of followed. So Sam Does Art, Sam Yang, the artist that I feel like everybody probably knows, very famous artist. He released a video on how to navigate Pinterest's AI. So I've just kind of followed that. It's not a long video, but he kind of walks you through like what are some settings that you can adjust to kind of have Pinterest manually filter out the images. I found that it does a pretty good job so far, and I still think that like when AI images do pop up, you can kind of tell when they're AI just based on either they're too clean or they're a little bit too perfect in a way. I think that AI, especially for portraits, there's just something off about it in terms of like if it does go for messy or if it does go for something that's clean, it's too manufactured, if that makes any sense. Now, you could still be finding images that are like photoshopped. I think people kind of still forget that we still photoshop things and we still put things through filters and everything, but yeah, it's I feel like that it's been not too bad so far. You still have to keep an eye out for it, but I feel like it's not too bad. Okay, so with that being said, I've gathered a bunch of images here. Actually, I think I'm gonna save it real quick. So then I can put it on the side. And I can kind of look at it while I'm designing some objects or some silhouettes. So, okay. Yeah, if you're legal, you have to subscribe to Sam. You know what? I haven't subscribed to Sam, but I feel like because I watch his videos every now and then, his videos just get naturally like recommended to me anyways. So I'll watch it if it looks interesting. But yeah, he's a great guy, or he seems like a great guy. I don't know, but also a fellow Canadian too, which is really cool. When I was like, oh, he's Canadian, that's cool. Okay, so the next step is after we've kind of followed or gathered all these reference images, what I do recommend is grabbing kind of a brush that let's see, let's find a good brush. Let's use this one. I feel like this would be kind of neat to do this exercise in, or this one. Maybe let's try this one. So what I'm trying to look for is a brush that doesn't allow me to be too refined with my brushes or my line work. I can like cover a large amount of space and do kind of like some messy noises. Actually, maybe let's take a look at what other fancy brushes there are. Oh, this one looks kind of neat. Nope. I want one that will kind of create noise and big shapes and won't let me kind of have too much control with it. I feel like that's kind of like the point though. You want a brush that allows you with control. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. You know, we can kind of start off with this one maybe. I don't know. It's kind of neat. I feel like it's a little bit too solid. We can try this rock brush. This rock brush could be kind of cool. Yeah, you know, we'll use the rock brush. I think that would be kind of neat one to start off with. Yeah, he has a very good personality, and I know that a lot of people like his voice, and he just has a lot of good like pointers and tips as well, and he seems like a very down-to-earth kind of guy. Yeah, so the brush I'm going to be using, I think I'm going to stick with this one. It's a brush called Rock. It's literally just called RGBA Rock. But yeah, we're going to stick with this one. I believe it's because of... Oh, you can't really see it. I think it's because of how dark we have it. But actually, the reason why is because when you go down on the brush stroke, it makes a lighter pass, and then when you go up, it makes a darker value. So you can kind of almost manufacture and make these weird rock shapes by just using a brush. So if you're using Krita, this is kind of a neat brush, but we're not really using it for that purpose. We're using it more for building out silhouettes. So let's start off with, I don't know, let's start off with the hydrant. So just gonna kind of if any of you have ever done like what is it, contour drawings before, I feel like this is kind of something that's similar to it. So I'm not trying to like follow along perfectly, but I'm gonna try to just like create something here, and I'm gonna kind of loosely base it on the hydrant, but if something kind of new comes up, I might kind of change it. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Like a cop helmet, like those old old kind of cop, like, you know what, you guys know what I'm talking about. Those like British cop kind of characters. You say that brush rocks. Hey, someone took it. Someone did it. They said the thing. Okay. Oh, also there's like these weird chains with it. I don't know. Maybe I didn't have to draw the chains. Chains maybe a little bit. Not it. Kind of a neat shape. It's kind of neat. Kind of put that on hold for now. And then let's do the traffic light sign. So I'm gonna later on like kind of combine these together afterwards. This kind of reminds me of bird actually. Ooh, what if we do a giant bird? And it's kind of based on like the traffic light. I don't know, that sounds really weird, but can you tell me what you're speeding in a residential? Oh, also, I kind of mentioned this to class, but I don't know if I ever mentioned it to stream. I am playing through Resident Evil. I thought you were making a Resident Evil kind of comment, and I was like, oh, I'm finally playing through Resident Evil 4, because it finally went on sale for like a decent price. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get it. And then I finally got it, and so I'm finally playing through it. You are evil in the residence. Yeah. So I'm finally getting through it. It's pretty good. I'm quite liking it so far. Oh, that is a little bit too tight. No space. I was a little bit kind of stressed from the opening sequence because you got to run from all those guys. You know, the whole infamous bingo scene. I was a little nervous because I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to like run through all these guys, like all these like enemies, and have to deal with them. And then I got it on my first try. Although to be said, I'm kind of playing on just regular difficulty. Not a big horror kind of game person, but yeah, kind of got through my first try, and then now I'm kind of going through the game. So far, really good. I really like it. So not bad. It's not a bad game. I mean, I did like the second one. I mostly like the cop area. Cop area was cool. Ooh. This is kind of cool. So I changed the can shape a little bit, but so I'm kind of just marking all these shapes out that I see on my references. So I'm kind of just being like, oh, what are some neat shapes that I can kind of create and carve out using the reference? And because I'm using a very big brush, I don't have to worry about like details or anything of the sort. I'm kind of just mostly relying on the shapes. So I'm really focusing more on like how much space it takes up, how detailed it is. Actually, maybe we might plug, and essentially what this is to kind of just get your kind of your ideas flowing. So even if all you look at these objects and these shapes here and you're kind of like, there's nothing really that I can work with here, see what you can combine. So right now I'm kind of leaning towards maybe like a bird raven type of character. I really like this form or shape here, and I like these almost kind of like bumps that are coming up. And I don't know if you guys noticed it when I showed it on screen. There's actually pigeons sitting on top of it. So I don't know, maybe we'll make like a pigeon traffic light or something. So I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, I want to start totally not for not. I mean, you know, he's a cool character. He's a rad dude. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna duplicate this. I don't want to lose what we had, but I am gonna shrink this down, and kind of let's go beyond this. So this is kind of like the first, maybe this is the first take on how to do this. And then the second is I'm going to take these and try to go for something a little bit different. Kind of combine them and kind of warp them, or kind of start to twist them a little bit. So the whole goal of the silhouette, mind you, is not to just find objects and then just copy the objects that you see as a silhouette. It's to, one, get your kind of ideas flowing. But then also kind of start to warp and combine the silhouettes that you made. Whoops. So used to having the eraser right there. Warp and combine these shapes. So once you kind of have something, kind of run with it, see what you can come up with. You know what? This could be cool too. It's kind of like a vulture. I don't know. Maybe we can play around with it a little bit. But let's see what we come up with. What do vultures look like? Oh man, I don't know. There's this like really scary movie, animated film that I saw as a kid. I think it had a vulture as like one of those like creatures, and I was just like, man, it's scary. You can kind of maybe come up with a bird that's just like, it's got these like vents or stuff kind of coming out of it. Look, kind of reminds me of like a spine. So I don't know, maybe we'll work with like, oh, it's got these giant, it's been like, it's evolved, it's changed into like this nasty creature. The city has contaminated the bird, so it now has these like vents for it. I don't know. Hey, oh hey, hello Kirapico. Those straw hats with the symbols hanging off the rim. The symbols, like the straw hat. I'm thinking of like One Piece. All of a sudden, are you? I don't know if you're referring to One Piece, but I mean, could be kind of neat. Fuse the pigeon to the traffic light. I don't know. Make the banana their hair, basically. Oh. You know, I like that. I don't know if it will be a banana, but we'll see what's here. I don't know. It looks kind of funny, but yeah, it's kind of different. So I'd eat the scraps. Oh no, it's not Dark Crystal. I never watched Dark Crystal, but there was this like animated film. I feel like I remember there were like rabbits in there, and then there was like this eagle, but then like they zoomed in on the eagle's eyes, and the eagle's eyes were just like absolutely ferocious and disgusting, and it was just like, oh, that eye is too intense. Like, why would you design it like that? I also want to make the bird like just like really hunched over. Oh, maybe we'll take a little bit of like from this then. I don't know. Hmm. Maybe something like that. Don't know. Maybe not. Ooh. I feel like I'm just slowly making like a Elden Ring Bloodborne kind of creature slowly here. Oh, what kind of character are you designing and drawing the magical creatures? No, we're just taking kind of silhouettes. So I've found these kind of like objects, just random objects off the internet. And I'm like, oh, let's see what I can come up with in terms of their silhouettes and kind of combining, but also like kind of picking and choosing what to use. I feel like this makes it too cool, you know, with the little the hat there. Okay, well, this was the bird idea. I feel like there could be something more with the bird idea. Maybe we can have it just be like hunched over. Ooh, maybe that's like the fire hydrant idea. I like the bird direction that I'm kind of leaning into, and gonna see where I can kind of expand on that. I like this, having like this bird that's really just kind of broken down and kind of decrepit, maybe kind of like the dome like form of the fire hydrant. Maybe there's just a bunch of like trash and stuff stuck onto the bird. I feel like that kind of makes sense. You know, it's a vulture. It's kind of eating and kind of combining everything and consuming everything it like sees. I'm gonna go for. I know this looks nothing like the objects that we had, but we also only have about like an hour left, so I kind of want to see like what we can come up with these weird shapes. I don't know. Heard of Daring Kiloi? Nope, I've never heard of that. Yeah, we're designing. Yeah, creatures won the vote, so we're gonna be designing based off of that. Hunkroll. Bird looks a little bit like a witch. I mean, I guess I'm going for that kind of like just like you know, decrepit, kind of gnarly, kind of bird. Yeah. Vulture mimic. Oh, where's mimic from? That sounds so familiar. That's from something, right? A mimic. I'm like, for my thought first went to Harry Potter. I'm like, I don't think it's Harry Potter. D&D. Oh, okay, okay. Every JRPG. I see, I see. I feel like there could be something here. Maybe we gotta push like the head shape a little bit more. I like the head being like very low and almost kind of like just kind of hanging out here. Like maybe there's a bunch of feathers coming out. More vulture like. Let's lean into the vulture element, but then there's like different things sticking out. I do still like the vent, like from the, what is it? The kind of the traffic light vents kind of coming out of like the back. I feel like that could be like really, really cool. And like the hands, I don't know, it's doing that little creepy thing with the hands, kind of like T-Rex hands, like they're sticking out a little bit. Kind of wanted to like maybe it's dragging its cape a little bit. I don't know, its feathers pulling back, and then maybe as it's pulling it back, there's like there's trash, there's things kind of here, there's I don't know, things just kind of flowing behind it. I realize it's starting to look a bit more like a dinosaur and whatnot, but we'll see. We'll just put like some sticks, like things poking out. I realized we never even like went for the didn't even end up going for like the plug. I thought the plug was gonna be like the most like thing I was gonna use when I was just kind of looking for objects. In the end, we went for the traffic sign and a little bit of the fire hydrant, a little bit. You know, I like that. I like this design. Maybe we'll go with that. So we'll do like a side view, maybe? I feel like side view would probably be the best one to go with. So kind of just write it out here. Kind of what we did, essentially. So what we did was kind of we took an idea and we leaned into it. Take an idea and lean into it. Kind of start to push the features and the shapes to fit more of the character. Looking a bit like Godzilla. Yeah, I can see that, yeah. To fit more of the character. Yeah, so now I'm gonna do what I usually do when it comes to our streams, and I'm designing something. Just gonna take this, copy paste it, and yeah, and then we're gonna work off of this design. Oop, should have used a wider frame. It's okay. We'll kind of stick with this. And then we're gonna lower the opacity and then make a new one, and now I'm gonna clean it up, add any kind of like extra designs to it. Blender on the down left. Oh, with the fire hydrant? Yeah. I think one of the like when I was picking out references, I didn't realize some of them were like 3D renders, whether it's from like Substance Painter or Blender or Maya, like one of those. Okay, so now we're just gonna be designing the creature. Now, gonna be kind of working on it, kind of just randomly. Gonna be kind of relying a little bit on what I already know about vultures. I think their nose is like right here. I kind of want to just really lean into the grossness of them, so, or of this character and creature. So I'm just gonna rely on my memory for now. So sometimes, even though I, highly recommend that people look for references for whatever it is that they draw, especially if they don't know what it looks like. But on the flip side, there are benefits from not looking at references in the beginning. So if you're kind of like, oh, you know what? I don't know what a vulture looks like, but I kind of want to go along with that, because sometimes by not knowing something, you let your imagination take over of what you think something should look like, if that makes any sense. So instead of relying on what's real, you rely on your imagination and your kind of ability to come up with kind of creative decisions and ideas and problem solving off the top of your head. Yeah, less cookie cutter designs. Now, if you do end up getting stuck, like you're like, wait, that nose doesn't feel right. How do you draw beaks? How should beaks look and all that? Then yes, start leaning more into then start looking at like references to get a feel for what something should look like. So now what I'm gonna try to do is like I don't know if anybody watched the movie The Heron and the Boy, the Ghibli movie. I feel like what made that heron design look so creepy and weird is like the smile. He has this really wide smile and look to it. And I'm like, I kind of want to add that. Also, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him really long hair. So, speaking of what was it? What was that movie, Vin? You brought up the one where you said it was scary, but I was like, oh, I never watched that. Never ending story or something. Like or Dark Crystal. Yeah. I feel like I kind of I'm gonna lean into that and give him like this, give him that kind of aesthetic. Oh, hey Jess. Glad you're able to show up. Haven't feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I know you hop on here and there. A dark crystal design, yeah. I think it reminds me of that too. Watership down. It got super realistic. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Let me see. I don't know. Watership down, maybe. Oh, I think it is. Maybe it could be this. I I know a lot of people bring this up. I don't remember if it's this because there's just this one scene where like this vulture or eagle swoops in, and the vulture had just this scary, really scary looking. I remember seeing it as a kid and I'm like, dang, that is one gnarly looking bird. That's kind of creepy looking. Yeah. Are we leaning towards the vulture or the heron? Oh, we're leaning more towards the vulture, but the reason why I brought up the heron, the boy and the heron, is because the reason why I feel like I felt like the heron's look was so kind of unsettling a little bit is because he had a smile. Like he kind of had this like human like smile to it. So I was like, "Oh, let's lean into that a little bit." Also, I saw someone ask like, "Oh, how long have I been using Krita for?" I've been using Krita for let's see, since I started at Wing Canvas, so maybe about 3-ish years now, I think. Something like that. All the animals and being a parent. Well, yeah, adulting and definitely a lot of things to take care of. Well, but glad you're able to join us and hopefully you're catching a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a break. I feel like maybe the eye is too big. And make it and I kind of wanted to give it like a third eye for the vulture. I don't know. I feel like that could be kind of cool. Give it like a third eye. And maybe we could put the hands higher up. Going for real kind of like almost someone did say like a witch, and you know what, I'm all in for leaning into that. We'll lean into the whole witch kind of vibe here. Maybe make the finger like longer. Maybe give it like a long robe. Maybe it becomes part of it. uh Jessa and her entire farm. Oh, wait, do you actually have a farm? That's so cool. I thought it was more just like a joke. It's like, yeah, Jess and her farm. Wait, but if you have a farm, that's awesome. That's cool. You know what, like there's been those questions where people, when people go like, "Oh, if this wasn't your job, what would you do?" And I was always been like, honestly, I don't know. I kind of wouldn't, not to make light of I think the job, but there was one time, and I know that it's like a lot of work, it's very grueling, but one time in grade, I think it was like grade 11 or 12, we had kind of like this outdoor excursion where our school brought us to a farm, or not a farm, but kind of like this field, and we got to help to kind of work on like mulching, I think, or maybe not mulching, but like flipping the soil. And I was just like, oh, you know what? I like this. I kind of enjoy it. You know, so I was like, you know what? If I wasn't an artist, I feel like my alternate job, that I, again, maybe this is my rose tinted lens view of the job, and I know that it's definitely not like easy work or anything. It's very toiling and very, it has a toll on the body and everything. But I was like, you know, I wouldn't mind being like a farmer. Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't mind kind of being someone who kind of like works the field or something. I don't know. But I just like it, the, you know, there's the isolation, being out in nature, being out in the field, and kind of just like having kind of this like, I don't know, schedule. I don't know. Maybe I'm glorifying it or something. Maybe it's not that nice, but yeah, I was kind of like, you know what? I like kind of out here in the field kind of thing. So, you know, alternate job, if I wasn't an artist, I'm like, you know, I wouldn't mind being like some environmental like farm research, or I don't know, soil researcher or something. I grow the crops and rear pigs. I don't know if I would necessarily be a farmer. So like it's not the animals, it's the like the field. Like when we went over, and it was more of like, I think it was like environmental research, like learning how to like work the fields, and like learning how like the field works, how to like cater like the plants and everything to grow properly. I was like, you know what, that'd be kind of sick if I had like leaned more into like that side of sciences. I wouldn't mind being like a field researcher. I feel like someone who works in like vegetation, and I don't know, how to like an environmentalist in a sense. I don't know. That sounds it sounds so like weird. It's so different from what we're doing now. But yeah, I don't know. That's always been kind of been on my mind. Or, you know, people go like, "Oh, I would be an astronaut, or I would be a cop, or I would be, I don't know, whatever people say." And I'm just like, I want to be an environmentalist working working the fields. I don't know. Again, not to make light of it, because I know that that might be like, oh, there's like a glamorized view of like being a farmer or working the fields, but I really liked it when we worked, when we went there for like a high school trip. I thought it was a kind of like a very, I don't know, calming kind of work. Although I maybe that's, if there are any real farmers here or anything, it'd be like, it is not calming, Josh. It is not a restful work to do. It's very toiling and very hard work. So I don't know. Same thing with like, I guess any job. You could be like, oh, I want to be an astronaut. It's like, okay, well now you gotta learn like physics. Now you gotta know like quantum, and you gotta be an engineer. You gotta know all these things, and that's not like easy work either. Or like, I want to be a firefighter, but you know, firefighters, you gotta be able to lift stuff. You gotta have the body to work it as well. So yeah. Gonna be an archaeologist like in Jurassic Park. Okay, maybe that's a better way of putting it. I would be like the Jurassic Park guy. Yes, that is how I envision my perfect job, is being in being being a Dr. Grant from Jurassic Park. I want to be the guy who leans up against the Triceratops and listens to the heartbeat. You know, I want to be Jeff Goldblum. That's my dream job. I just want to be Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. That's my dream job. I want to be that guy. You know, I want to be him. You know, like every day, other day, I'll get a notification and find out that Jess has brought her 13th goat of the month. Dang, that's cool. I had to pet the sheep. I went to a farm and got to pet the sheep. They're really friendly for some reason. I feel like sheep are generally pretty friendly. Or goats. Or maybe not goats. Maybe sheep are. I feel like sheep are generally very, like, very low. Not low maintenance. They're very, like, chill, I guess. Gonna, Josh gonna wear a cowboy hat and be, like, in Yellowstone. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I I feel like this vulture's hands are more of like, here, come here, come hither. I don't know. This doesn't look very like gnarly in a way. We'll give maybe him like a walking stick or something. I don't know. Right, the long hair. Here, come here. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, what is happening here? I want to be the guy. But I'm afraid you don't know the name. Just the guy. Yo, I love Jurassic Park. Yeah, I went to was it Universal Studios like I think 2 years ago. And we haven't been there in a long time. And when we were going there, I had one goal. I was like, either one or I guess three options: buy Jurassic Park merch, buy Back to the Future merch, or get both of them. And I did end up getting some, so not some. I got a Jurassic Park T-shirt. So I do have a Jurassic Park T-shirt. I do wear it every now and then. Sometimes I wear it as my volleyball shirt. But yeah, it's I love Jurassic Park, and I regret it so much. I wish I had gotten that uh Back to the Future cup. They have this Back to the Future cup where they had like all these like the infamous scenes kind of printed on the cup. It's nothing like fancy or anything, but I was like, oh, that's so cool. I would like to have that, but alas, no Back to the Future cup. I love Back to the Future. I like Back to the Future more than I like Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is great though, especially the first movie. First movie is great. But Back to the Future, when I was like learning and studying animation, I was like, I like while I'm kind of working this out, let me put something on the background. And I put Back to the Future on in the background, and I just ended up watching it instead of working. So I'm just like, I can't have Back to the Future just playing, or else I'm just gonna get stuck and just only listen and only like just watch Back to the Future. Also, I don't know what I'm drawing for these back things, so I'm kind of combining the objects that I found, but then I'm just drawing like random random stuff here. Maybe this is like a honey pot. I don't know. Maybe this is like a spatula. We got like a blender maybe kind of combined in here. I feel like the concept of drawing like garbage, it's probably not the best idea, but we'll kind of go with it for now. Do you like math? No, unfortunately, I do not like math. Math was not my forte. We're also gonna lean into the creepy vulture look here. I don't know if this is creepy enough. But no, math was never my forte. I skipped out on math. Once it was no longer mandatory, I was like, nope, bye-bye. I'm done. Not doing this. Although maybe I just need someone to just like walk me through how it works. So I'm really leaning into like a Ghibli style of like characters, like really big proportions with maybe like I don't know, weird props. I feel like Ghibli does this really good job of making things just feel slightly unsettling with their scale. Like was it what's her name? Ubaba or something from Spirited Away, where her head is just absolutely massive. I kind of wanted to try that with this one, but I don't think I pushed it large enough. So, but it's okay. We only have so much time. So I'm just going to do as much as I can. Maybe we'll add like just like holes here. Sorry for anybody who has like trypophobia, I guess. You will have to endure the weird kind of pores inside of this creature's jacket. Hey, there we go. So we are gonna work with this as the main design. Maybe I will just make it a little bit larger. Maybe have it go off a little bit. Oops. There we go. It's pretty good. There's a which feathery cloak. Yeah, you know, it's nothing over the top or crazy, but I feel like it's pretty good. We'll have also, I don't know, maybe some just like wires. I kind of want like trash and stuff kind of hanging off of the bird. I don't know. I'm adding like a fishing rod here. I don't know what's stuck inside of this person, their jacket. But I feel like this is pretty good. Let's see. Goats are, let me see. I did not catch up on this. Don't turn into a fly like Jeff Goldblum. I still have not watched that movie, although I've seen clips of it. It looks gnarly. Oh, he was a mathematician. Okay. Strange bucket list thing. Get a shirt that represents every country from every country I can visit. Hey, I mean, that was pretty good. I think that's a pretty good collectible. Do you like math? Unfortunately, then I guess I can't be that guy. I can't be Jeff Goldblum. Just not good at math, unfortunately. Kind of looks like more evil version of the Owl Witch from Song of the Sea. Oh, I need to watch Song of the Sea. Is that that Irish animation studio, right? Is it? Yeah, Cartoon Saloon. I need to watch it. I've heard good things about that one. Parasite from Metro. You cosplay no face before, but hot. Yo, I commend anybody who cosplays because it's never well ventilated in those convention halls. It's always so hot, and I'm not even wearing any costume. I'm not wearing any cosplay, so I can't imagine what it's like for people who are actually cosplaying, who are just like covered in a jacket with makeup, or they're in a helmet or a full-on suit. Yubaba. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the name. But yeah, I can't imagine. Can you imagine if you cosplayed as Yubaba? In yo, has anyone ever done that? I feel like everybody cosplays as No Face or the main character from Spirited Away. Someone should cosplay as Yubaba. I feel like that would be such an awesome cosplay outfit. Like you make the whole head and it's just absolutely ginormous. I feel like that would be really cool. I didn't notice the jacket until you pointed it out. uh, he's so Danny DeVito. The one they pulled the bike out of. Yeah. Is that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, Spirited Away is it's a weird film. It's a gnarly film. What's better is that people genuinely can't tell. You know what? Then I feel like you could go and cosplay as Yubaba. You know that's a great, outfit to go for. Very comfortable to wear. I feel like Yubaba would be great in the winter. If there were winter conventions, because then you're like covered in that giant head shape, and then you got the big outfit. I feel like it would work well. No, same. You know, like, what is it? Yo, dude, Spirited Away is kind of creepy. It's not a film. I feel like it's such a gnarly, scary film. But I guess like when you watch it when you're older, it's like, oh, it's not as bad. Also, I don't know if anyone's ever looked at like birds' beaks before. They are kind of weird looking. So I'm gonna give mine like four nostrils essentially, And I'm gonna make it all like wrinkly. Beaks are like not as clean cut as I feel like we usually think they are. So I'm gonna make it more, give it some bumps and ridges, make it just look nasty in a way. I'm gonna reposition the third eye then. We'll give a little shout out to what is it? Chainsaw Man. Yeah, give a little shout out to Chainsaw Man. I'm gonna do like a ringed eye maybe. Do a little some rings for the eyes. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe that makes it too complicated. Here, we'll put that there. Extremely attractive version. No. I mean I've seen people cosplay as No Face. What was it? Adam Savages from Mythbusters and Now Tested. He has a really great video. He always kind of showcases what he cosplays for every year, and he always kind of walks through like how he makes the costumes. I always love just like seeing those videos, and I think he does have one where he cosplayed as No Face one time. And yeah, he said that like it seems very simple, but getting the size, the scale, and then just staying ventilated is was like really hard. But yeah, definitely go check out that video. Tested is his YouTube channel. He makes some great videos. I love Adam Savage. He's just he's like, I was gonna say Willy Wonka, but that's not really the case. I guess in a way maybe he is, but he's just like a child who's just finally grown up and he can just kind of do whatever. He's just always making props. He's getting invited to see like real props from like movies, and he just gets to geek out over it. He's literally like a child at a candy store. He's just like, oh my gosh, look at that. It's like, oh my gosh, look at that. But I love him. He's great. Yeah, anybody who hasn't checked it out, go check out his channel. Adam Savage has like an amazing channel where he just walks through things from like movies. He answers questions. He also like just showcases how he would make props and all that. So yeah, definitely go check out his channel. You know, I think the thing that I kind of messed up on for the eye is that in the initial drawing I made it too human like. So we are going to make it not human like. We're gonna make it a little bit kind of like an animal, or maybe more like a fish eye. Yeah, I just really want this to be a little kind of nasty. And I also don't know if you look up at a bird's eyes, they are not they're kind of gross. They've got all these like little like bumps and like almost, I don't even know what to call it, but they're just like, birds are weird. Birds are some weird creatures. So we're just giving this a lot of texture. I kind of want to make it look like he's wearing a skull inside of his, on his head and everything. Just to make no face. You use architecture. Yeah, I don't. He sometimes, I would say, goes really out of his way to make stuff like, I don't know if he's overcomplicates it, but every time I watch his video, he's like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this. I'm like, dang, you're really like, yeah, you're really going like all out for just to make like a certain costume. But I love it. I love it because it's just pure, it's just pure passion. Like what Adam does when it with his stuff is just like, it's just so, it's so good. It's just a big kid with adult resources. Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like he's always been like that too. When you watch like the Mythbuster episodes, it just feels like he's a big kid. Like someone just basically like, okay, you can just do whatever you want. You get to blow things up. You get to build like rockets and guns and like I don't know whatever to just see if it works. See what happens if you do this kind of vibe. Yeah. Uh, Stupid lightning bolt. That's a real cool burb. Oh, thank you, Jin. Oh, glad your connection was able to come back in. Birds have three eyelids. Do they have three eyelids? That's weird. He's the kind of guy I want to be at work. Works hard, always positive, always has joy in life, has this joy and imagination. Shy. He really is a mad scientist. Yeah, yeah. No, you know what? That I think that's totally like a good way of putting it. I think if we can all kind of just retire and be as kind of passionate and energetic and still kind of just a good energy and positivity like Adam is when we get to his age or his life stage in life. I think that'd be good. That would be good for all of us if we're able to do that. Get there at some point. They're a dinosaur that never became lizards. Yeah, that's true. Chickens. Yeah. Oh, you're trying to look at how to. Yeah, I don't think his videos are necessarily the best to look at how to do it, but they're definitely like fun to watch to see like how someone with his tools and with his resources would do it because it's like bro why would anybody design it in this way or why would anyone go about it in this way, but it's because he has the resources, so I think he can kind of do those things. Like he'll always make mistakes, and then he'll be like, okay, I'll just recast it, or I'll remold it, or oh, I'm just gonna solder off like a little bit over here to make it more accurate. And if you're like a beginner cosplay person and you just want to make a simple suit, and then you look at Adam Savage's no face suit and it's just like, okay, no one can really do this. So yeah, I don't think he's probably the best to look at for references on how to do it, but he's definitely a great one to be inspired by, and I think in just like life, probably. It's a well designed mask for him. Yeah, yeah. We do have it? Wait, what? We have three eyelids as well? I mean, if that's the case, that's kind of neat. I did not know that we have a third eyelid. It's kind of interesting. Okay, also, as the hair kind of comes down, we're gonna make it more, I don't know, flowy? Kind of like peacock's feathers, where they're a little bit more looser. So it's a bit more like, he's got these long pieces of hair just coming down. I want to make him look kind of like he's a greasy, kind of not a, he's a slimy, slippery kind of character here. You don't really want to trust him, you know. By the way, if anybody is kind of just joining and you're kind of wondering like, "Oh, why are we drawing a bird?" or like, "How did you come up with this bird design or this character design?" Believe it or not, and I guess the rest of the chat can tell you for those who are like here from the beginning, he started off as a traffic sign. So he started off as like this big giant traffic sign, and then and then it changed into, I don't know, a sign mixed with like other stuff, and then the garbage pile, And then now we got a giant witch bird kind of thing going on here. So yeah, it's a interesting change of form over time as we're drawing it. But that's kind of like the whole benefit of working with silhouettes, is that it kind of, the whole goal is not necessarily to over rely on the silhouette shapes that you make and come up with. It's really, the goal is to get the ideas going, and then once you have an idea going, run with it and just transform it and take it and run with it and see what you come up with. But that's kind of why I think like silhouettes is a really good exercise to start off with, because you can kind of come up with shapes and forms and ideas that you wouldn't necessarily always come up with right off the bat. And kind of like what Vin said near around like the beginning somewhere, it's just like you come up with unique, out of the off the cuff kind of shapes and designs. When did you start flying over me? Is that a, I do not, if that's a reference, unfortunately I do not get that reference, but it's a funny, I feel like I can imagine someone saying that. I once a traffic light, now I'm a monster bird and I'm proud. uh, like other parts we don't technically need, we don't have the muscle to use them anymore. Oh, that's a cool little bit of tidbit, fun fact, I guess. Yeah, as we get kind of larger, the larger feathers, I'm not gonna necessarily outline all of them, but I'm just still gonna get the overall shape and mass. So it's gonna be less detailed as we get further and further from like the main kind of shape over here, but kind of fill in some of these like shadow areas. So we're creating some like nice contrast with the feathers and the shapes here. Because once we get into like these larger areas, there's just going to be too much line work. If we were to like really detail this out, there would be too much to do. And so instead of trying to outline every single feather shape and quill and mold and whatnot, we're just going to kind of imply the shapes. They're there. And I'm kind of slightly relying on the underlying line work that I had, my rough line work, but I'm still kind of improvising and adding my own shapes here and there. So this way it still follows some of the original concept and idea and flow, but it's a little bit more kind of a little bit more detailed and matches the overall style. So I want most of the details to be around the face, and then as it gets further and further away, the focus becomes more of like the overall jacket shape or the cloak shape. So add one more big feather here, maybe. Let's see. You ever just space out for like 15 minutes? I mean, if I didn't have to talk, this is probably where it would be. I would just be like, you wouldn't hear from me for like the next maybe 30 minutes, and I would just be focused on drawing. Yeah. Also, Kevin, wow, nice coming back here, popping in. I see to see how things are going. Yeah, I think it's came up pretty neat. It was not I honestly I was like, I don't know what kind of creature we're gonna design for today. So like I mentioned, I kind of went into this today's stream to show you like how I would personally kind of approach doing these kind of designs. And when you do these kind of designs, sometimes you're just not gonna know exactly how it will turn out, because the whole point of designing with silhouettes and kind of these random shapes is that you're kind of letting the shapes guide your decisions. So instead of pre-planning, and I also wanted to show you guys and simulate like what it would be like if you did have like an art block, or you just didn't know what direction to take the drawings in. How would you tackle that kind of problem or issue, and then how would you use silhouettes to help guide that decision making process? So went into this one with not really too much in mind. I actually thought I was going to design a golem kind of character, like a more rock like creature, but then I don't know, I guess the traffic light character kind of took over, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool one. Maybe we'll go with a traffic light design, and here we are. An hour and a half, an hour later, and we have a kind of creature, like a bird creature, instead of a golem. But yeah, that was the original intent actually. Like going in, I was like, maybe we'll do a golem. Maybe I should have something like roughly planned out. And I'm like, oh, we'll do a golem if anything. Like if I can't think of anything. But then, yeah, the traffic light concept really kind of, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Let's run with that. So yeah, here we are with a giant vulture witch slimy character. I say slimy, not like physically. He's probably not physically slimy, or maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe the feathers are all slick. But slimy in terms of personality. I want to make him seem like he's a little snaky. Like you can't really trust this guy. Probably has a lot of underdealings, and he kind of schmoozes his way around in life. Actually, let's make this come out a little bit more. Also, chicken fingers, I feel like they have more like meat around like the fingertips, so we'll keep that. My precious. I'm channeling my inner Jess. I guess so, in a way. I know I very rarely draw creatures for stream, but you know sometimes I just like you know I can also design creatures. Just not it's not my like forte, or it's not my go-to subject necessarily. But I'll give it a shot every now and then. But really bad spacing out sometimes. Autism be darned. Uh, yeah. I totally get it. Sometimes it's like, oh, let's do that, and you kind of get carried away. I was actually watching a video from a channel called Howtown, where they were kind of going over is like, oh, are we as a kind of society losing our attention span lately? Like, are we getting worse and worse at maintaining our attention? And I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. I wonder what the take is. And yeah, apparently we have a hard time kind of just keeping task for like one thing. We like to jump around with what we do. And I was like, you know what? I feel like that would be me if I was not drawing. But I feel like when I'm drawing, I'm always like, oh, gotta do that. Or I gotta do that. And I feel like I can just get like really, whoops. I can get very locked in a sense with like when it comes to drawing, where I will draw for like about an hour and a half or 2 hours and just not notice time passing by. But I feel like maybe that might just be me. But I feel like with drawing, it's very easy to kind of be like, oh, I'm gonna just draw for the next like 2 hours and kind of forget about time and everything. I can see him eating a boiled egg. You know, it didn't cross my mind as to like, oh, what's wrong with eating a boiled egg? It was like, oh, but he's a bird. So yeah, that's pretty That would be pretty gross of him if he's like going off and eating a like a boiled bird. Imagine that's his like interrogation scare tactics. Is like he'll go up to the people he's interrogating and it's like, "Oh, you don't want to, pay your you don't want to pay what you owe me or what you're due. Oh, well, look at this over here. Look, I got this little chicken egg. I wonder what's gonna happen to this chicken egg." Like I could definitely see he would be someone who does something like that. Just like despicable acts. Birds do eat other birds' eggs. Dang, that's dark. Was that I mean, like, I guess it's dark like when humans do it. We do have that saying of like, what is it, uh don't boil a calf or something in its milk or something. It's because it's like this seems like a blasphemy on life. It's like milk represents like life, but then you boil like a calf or something that's dependent on milk, but then you boil it in its milk. It's like a dark, twisted kind of I don't know, blasphemy on life. How much time do we have? Oh, 1:48. That's not too bad. Doing okay. Hey, yeah, we actually kind of we're talking about that beforehand about how like, oh, as I was drawing this, it's a mixture of a few inspirations, I think. In the end, it's like a little bit of Spirited Away. I was kind of like going for like a Ghibli style of a creature design, but then also yeah, some of I guess some I never watched Dark Crystal, but I guess a little bit of that bled in to the the approach and the tech the take, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, someone's got. Feel mostly when I play games, just can't get that much into how I used to. Oh no, that I totally get that. I was telling my friend where I was just like, I feel like when I was a kid, I could spend like hours, the whole day, playing video games, and it would be like nothing. It would be like, oh man, this is like the best day ever. Just gotta spend like summer vacation or summer break, just like playing video games nonstop. And then now, I feel like there is not really much of that time anymore. Or even if you do have the time, you almost don't want to spend all your time, or I don't know, I don't want to spend all my time playing video games the whole day. Not that it's bad or anything. It's just like when I play for that long, I just end up getting tired, or I'm not as into it as I was before. But I don't know. It's just I don't think it's an attention span. I just don't have the same motivation or energy to play video games in the same way that I did back when I was like younger. But I can still play for I'll still play for like maybe about like an hour or two. But then after that I'll be like, okay, I'm done. That's kind of it. No more video games. Ah, yeah, I feel like no, definitely for sure the animals are wild. I had a friend in university who was like super into like animal facts and drawing animals and everything, and he would always tell me, he's like, "Oh, did you know about this?" Or it's like, "Oh, did you know like the spiders do this, or like these kind of birds do this?" And I was like, "What?" that's that's crazy. That's wild. But yeah, animals. It's barbaric out there. I can imagine one of the nastier things you could eat while making evil deals. I probably mean there's probably much more darker things. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. Higher designs. You had a question. I'm working on a world with anthropomorphic creatures, but I want to have natural flora and fauna too. My thought is the fauna would be more myth creature like. How would you differentiate? Um, I feel like an easy one, or I don't know if you would consider it easy, but or necessarily easy, but I think like colors could be a good way of identifying. Like usually you want when you're trying to differentiate something, you go back to kind of like very core fundamentals, in terms of design and art. So it could be things um, like colors, could be shapes, could be yeah, like shapes and shape languages. It could be that like certain creatures have harsher lines, versus some characters, or some creatures have softer lines. I think you can look at something like even like Legend of Zelda, how like different characters from different tribes. The art style for Legend of Zelda obviously is like very consistent, but if you, for example, I haven't played Legend of Zelda too much, but you know those rock guys, like they have more sharper forms to them. They're more blocky, they're more sharper, more rigid, more rock-like. And then the fish people are more softer. Their clothing and the way they dress are a little bit more like more rigid, or not rigid. They're like more flowy, more organic in its flow. So you can kind of consider that, I think. I should know the name. Is that they're either really long or poorly paced. There's that too. Yeah, games sometimes just I don't have the same amount of time I think to want to play all those games. Yeah, I think a big part of like just art in general, not just even with not just with like video games, but just like art, movies, like things just aren't done with the same amount of passion as they were done beforehand, and that's because they weren't as big or successful as they were back then. But then now, like things are becoming like bigger and more corporatized, I guess you could say, and things aren't really done with the same kind of intent as they were back in the day, unfortunately. This definitely looks like it could be in Zelda. Thanks, Ben. How's your RE4 doing, Josh? It's going pretty good. I am not that far into the game. I can only play like here and there every now and then. Um, where am I? I'm trying to think. Where did I stop at? I'm on chapter 2 for sure. I just met that big guy with the hat. After you meet, shoot, I forgot his the Spanish guy that you meet. It's not Carlos, is it? The that the other guy that you meet who's like tied up in the body bag. Um, oh, Chozo. It does look like a Chozo. But yeah, I met that guy, and then I met the big guy who looks like the oh Lewis. Yeah, yeah. I was like, I was either Lucas or Carlos or some. There's an L there in the name somewhere. But yeah, I met him, and then I think that's where I ended it. Oh, I escaped. Yeah. Oh, I met the shopkeeper. I met the shopkeeper, and I just went got him, and I just got the key with the raven and unlocked that door. And then other than that, that's kind of where I ended off. And then I kind of got there last at the end of last week. So other than that, I have not played anymore. So I then that's kind of it. So no spoilers. Um, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's really, really good. I really like the game so far. I think it's the sense of exploration I really, really like. I actually like it when I don't have to deal with any enemies. Oh my gosh, the combat, the shooting in that one area right after you meet the shopkeeper. I was like, I kept dying in that area over and over again. I mean, maybe I'm just like bad, but yeah, that part took me a while to get through, and but I really like the exploration. So that's the part I really like. Other than like, I'm not too big on like the combat. The combat's fine. The combat's great. I mean, but I really like this sense of exploration and just mystery, and like when you're left off on your own to just explore that world. That's what I really like about the game. And I think it's the same thing with like Resident Evil 2 as well. Is like I think the game works really really well when you're just kind of left to explore and figure out like how to get out, and like or what's going on in the world. I think like that's when the game does a really good job of. But yeah, overall really like it. Combat's great. I like all the guns. I like that you start off with a lot of space for gear. um and the leveling up system is kind of interesting, and it's taking me a while to kind of figure out how it would work and whatnot. But other than that, it's pretty good. I like it. Merchant. I yeah, the merchant guy. Oh, how do I get started on my concept art portfolio? I think the a big one, the or if you're not too sure, you can kind of just ask yourself like what part of the concept industry that you want to work in. So if you're trying to go for like animated films, or if you want to go for video games, it's a little bit different. And then also considering like the demographic can also change and uh, influence and affect which or like what type of art you make for those different parts of the industry. So if you're going for like, let's say, if you're trying to apply to like Hades, like super giant games, then your concept art is going to look very different compared to if you're trying to apply for like Doom, the next Doom game, or the next God of War game. So your concept art and your direction for how you take it is different. It doesn't mean that it you can't do both, but have a certain direction when you're making your portfolio. So if you have a good direction of where you want to head into, you're gonna have a better trajectory or direction. And then once you finish that, then you can kind of go like, oh, okay, what else can I add more to? And it's the same thing for like environmental art too. If you're going for environmental art, but there's like different styles of environmental art. Are you going in for like comic books? Are you going in for movies? Are you going in for live action films, animated films, children's films, adult kind of more mature films? Then depending on what you're going for will change and affect how you curate your portfolio. So you can't just kind of go in and be like, oh, I'm just going to create whatever. You kind of have to go in with an idea as to like what part of the industry you want to curate yourself in. And if you're not sure, I would highly recommend just taking a look at some of your favorite artists' websites. And what you'll notice is that they don't dabble in everything. They could do like different studies. They might have different pages dedicated to their sketchbook studies, maybe painting studies that they do. But usually, most of the times, it is catered to like one thing. So like I'll use Shiun Kim as an example. He has a pretty like solid, pretty easy to browse through website. Very straightforward. It gets straight to the point, and he mostly just dabbles in character designs, mostly for children's animated films, for like Sony, Netflix, and Disney. So that's kind of his approach to things. And so if you take a look at what he has on his website, it's very curated, it's very focused, and you can kind of approach coming up with a portfolio in the same way. Yeah. And yeah, like I think that's why I also like Breath of the Wild too. Is like you kind of are just thrown in, and the game just goes like, okay, just go do what you want, and you're like, uh, okay, and then you just go and explore the land, and I love that. It's so addicting, just being thrown in, and then you like walk up a cliff, and you're like, oh, that mountain looks like it has something interesting, and you go up, there's nothing there, and then you just keep going, and then you go up the hill and you find out, I was like, oh, there's something over there. It's like, oh wait, there's something over there. And then you just keep going and going and you forget about like the main mission that you're doing. So it's like it's awesome. I love the level design and the way the pacing is done in Breath of the Wild. Like it's I still haven't finished it. I still haven't gone to it, but it's great. Oh, it's Jesse? Oh, hey, Jesse, what the heck? I was just told to check this out. Oh my, I think Kevin roped you in. Hey, Jesse. Oh, and thank you. Yeah, it's because Jesse and Kevin's like, oh, this is very Jesse-like in terms of design. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's true. I can kind of see that. This demo rules. Oh, thanks. Glad you approve of it. I am getting near the end though, so most of the details like up here, and then as you can see, as we trail off into the side, yeah, it kind of gets a little lost, but yeah, we'll kind of leave it as is. Also, maybe we'll add like kind of wires, just like things hanging from it. I don't know. I don't know what would be hanging, but a lot of beads, maybe a lot of fishing hooks, just to make it feel like things are just like kind of tangled up with it. It is just kind of like a concept, so I think we just having like things hanging would be fine. Those feathers are good. Oh, thanks. What does design teach me? Also, I missed a good bunch. Let me see. Uh, oh, you played it back on the PS2 days? Oh man, I can't. I'm watching this guy play through Resident Evil 1, and I'm like, I don't think I could ever play this, so I'm just gonna watch him play. Because I'm just like, the stand still and watch it, there's a charm to it, not gonna lie, but I don't know if I want to play it myself. Um, this is your personal account. I don't feel like swapping. No, I get that. Uh, Wait, what did Vince say? Doesn't care if we're being bad. uh, oh, bones. That's a great suggestion, Jess. Yeah, actually, yeah. You know what? I didn't consider that, but thank you. I will add some bones. I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, where would I add the bones? Maybe I can have like a few lines hanging about, and then there's just like tiny little bones. So we might go over time a little bit, but hope you guys are enjoying this stream. Hope you guys enjoyed what we're kind of going over here and talking about. If you are enjoying the stream, be sure to like the stream. It helps us out a lot, and also kind of ring the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, we really enjoy it, and we hope you are enjoying the stream and you are learning a little bit, hopefully, as to like how to design characters starting with a silhouette. So yeah, you know what, we're gonna make it a little kind of super dark. Speaking of General Grievous, we're gonna hang a little bit of bird bones on his belt. I don't know. Is that a little bit too dark now? I don't know if it is. But yeah, he's gonna have a few like bird. Also, don't know what bird skulls look like. I'm just gonna make them look like bird skulls that I think what bird skulls look like. But yeah, we're gonna have like three bird skulls here. I'm the opposite. I love the old school mechanics. You know what? I think if you grew up with it, I think it also helps. And it doesn't even mean that you had to like grow up in that time. I think if you like you had parents who like introduced you to like old school style of games and you just really grew a love for it, I can see like enjoying it, but I don't know, the slower pace mechanic, it's tough to get into sometimes. And I feel like you don't even have to go that far back to we've advanced so far in games. It's kind of actually crazy. Like if you go back and play the old Uncharted games, they're not even that long ago, or at least not that long ago. But my goodness, Naughty Dog has aged so much in terms of like their game design and how in-depth games have gone. It's crazy. It's awesome. Because if you play those old Uncharted games, my gosh, they are super clunky feeling. They are not the most fun to kind of get your hands on and play, but I would still recommend it just due to just like being able to play those games and whatnot. But they are not fun to play necessarily. Yeah, we can go darker. Vertebrae on a vertebrae. That's a good suggestion too. Yeah, I like that. We can pretty close Dark Souls this thing up. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Uncharted 4 is so good. Yeah. Old Tomb Raider games. Yeah, I know that they did a remaster for the old Tomb Raider games. I kind of want to check it out, but then they announced that they're doing that like whole remake for Tomb Raider. So I'm like, I feel like I should just kind of wait and play the remaster instead. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll have like a vertebrae, I guess, hang off here, and then I guess we'll call it a day. Let me just make up a vertebrae. I like vaguely know what they look like. So I guess if anyone who ends up watching the VOD or sees the image and they're like, "What is that?" You guys will know because you guys were here and you guys will see this. Well, we won't make it too like overt as to like or very obvious as to what it is. But if you see it and you know what it is, I guess you'll be like, "Oh, that's kind of gnarly over there. That's kind of ooh." It's just got some spines. Is the one that makes me want to try other Uncharted series. It's it's such a whiplash going from Uncharted 4 and then playing on the first three, especially the first two. First two feel very old, and then the third one's okay. It's a little bit more polished, but the fourth one just it's so good. The what they like advanced in and have updated, it's so good. Okay, I think we're almost done. I'm just gonna add a few contact shadows to the cloak, and then and like the contact ground plane for it to make it feel more like it's in contact with the floor. And then after that, we will call it a day. So yeah, well, hope you guys again enjoyed this stream. I know I had a lot of fun designing this character with you guys and chatting, and there's been a lot of good questions and a lot of good kind of conversations going on. So it's always fun chatting with you guys and seeing how you guys are doing and what's going on in life and whatnot. First time learning that Jess has a farm, so that's kind of cool. I did not know you had a farm. And also turns out that I would never be able to be that guy. I can't be Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park because I just suck at math. I am not good at math, so unfortunately, I cannot be like Jeff Goldblum. It's funny how you can see like just the level of detail slowly getting like not as refined as the other ones in like the beginning. So I'm gonna kind of thin this out a little bit so it just matches the style at the front with the main head. Although it's still gonna be not as like detailed, but that's okay because the focus is up here, not at the bottom. Because he'll never. I'm only. Yeah, I'm only he. Because I'll never be him. It's so sad. So unfortunate. Uh. Okay. I guess this is it. I'll put my signature on it, I guess. I like to hide my signature, but you guys will know where it is. Put it like right here on the tea kettle, the coffee maker. We'll put the date. Let's see, what day is it? It is Jan 19, 2026. Nice. Okay, cool. No colored rectangle behind the okay, fine. Kevin wants the iconic colored rectangle behind the character. What should we go with? Should we just go with like blood red? Like a bloody dark red. I feel like a shape would be bad. I don't know. I don't know what shape to put behind the character. Whoops. that was disappointing. Oh, that is ooh, that's actually kind of neat. I don't know if I could put a red square. Ooh, that's kind of good though, but I don't think we can put one there. I think more orange rust color. I felt like gold. Oh, okay. Okay, we'll take your suggestions. Let's see, orange rust color. So maybe a little slightly more orange. That's like a Silent Hill red. Yeah. I usually do these just to kind of like offset the character. I don't know if I want to give a background character or a color to it. A little closer to orange. The rectangle, yeah. I mean, the other one is a triangle. But again, I don't know where I would put the triangle shape. I don't know. I'm not feeling the color. Unfortunately, Kevin, that this was foolproof. Oh, I feel like I gotta do more than just put a random shape behind it. I think I gotta do a fill if I'm gonna do it. Let me see. Where would I put the triangle? Put it like here, and maybe we'll just block it off. Okay, let's. It has failed us. I know. And do a color gradient with the orange. I mean, maybe another time. Maybe next time. I feel like we need to do a little bit more exploration if we want to add like a good complication of colors to it. Uh, there we go. I mean, it's pretty quickly done. I don't know if I love it. This was the over the top. Nothing too over the top. Uh, I don't know if should we color this guy in a future stream? I feel like that would be too much. I don't know if it warrants like a whole color in. Let's do that maybe. Mm, I don't know. Wondering what is this app or website? This is Krita. So if you, it's a free free software that you can use. So yeah, it's I highly recommend it. I personally love it. So yeah, definitely go check it out. Okay, you know what? We'll leave it here. I think this is okay. This is not too bad. Maybe we can add a little bit of orange into the eye. Is that it? Nah. Yeah. I was like, oh, what if we add a bit of color into the eyeballs? You can have like one gold teeth. Oh, thanks. 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 Just a little, to white one of his feathers. White one of his, wait, where? Oh, I guess I didn't, I gotta clean it up a little bit. Fine. Gotta like put it in a little bit more. Okay. I think that's, we'll call it here. I think this is not bad. We can put, okay, I just want to add one more. We'll put a little bit of like just, it's never done. You know, there's always something to add to it. Just a little bit of like just cast shadow from like the feathers, I think is all. Just one more, just a little bit more, please. Sometimes it feels like when you work with it's like feels like pleading with your parents to play a little bit more, please, just a little bit more. I'm almost there, mom, please. But the game's almost done. Okay. Oh, maybe we'll call it here. We'll also add a little bit here, just a little bit, just some happy speckles here and there, some happy feathers, or maybe not happy feathers, devious feathers, some little speckles of devious feathers here and there. All right. Just a little bit of shading, not too much, just to kind of tie in the shape and the colors a little bit. Thank you, Josh Rosh. No problem, no problem. Okay, we'll call it here. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining. I hope you again like this stream. If you haven't liked the stream, like literally like the stream, be sure to like it and subscribe so you're up to date as to when we're streaming and when we also post the polls. So again, if you didn't know, we have a little bit of a poll that goes up where you guys tell me what you would like for me to draw. So the poll over here. And yeah, that's why we're doing creatures, because that's the one that won today. So that's why we worked on this guy for a little creature design. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. And if you guys didn't know, we're more than just a YouTube channel. We're also a school. So if you want to kind of advance or enhance your kind of drawing skills, definitely check out our website. We have a whole slew of classes and a bunch of different teachers that all specialize in different things. So if you didn't know and you missed a little bit of the intro, my name is Josh, and I teach kind of drawing and painting as well as animation, and I'm one of the regular instructors at Wing Canvas, and as well as one of the streamers here on our YouTube channel. And if you don't know who we are, we're a school of illustration and visual storytelling dedicated to helping art nerds turn their passion into income. So yeah, thank you for tuning in and joining the stream for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And actually, before I go, let me just take a look at what is coming up next. So the next stream is on Saturday. It's 3 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be with Jesse. And, I guess maybe I'll ask Kevin what next Monday is going to be. I don't know if maybe I'm subbing in or something, but we'll see. But the next Saturday one for sure is going to be Jesse. So yeah, definitely tune in. And I guess that is kind of it. I will catch you all on the next stream. So yeah, have a good Monday, guys. Have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the week. And maybe I'll catch some of you in class. Bye-bye.